Hi everyone. Welcome everyone to our Skill Spark. I'll wait a second. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you're having a lovely day. I'm Esther. I should change my screen. Sorry. I'll be hosting this. Sinead is on a lovely holiday, so it's me, and we're going to be checking the chat with Arvind, who's lurking in the background too. And if you have any questions, comments, please shout. We are talking about a new topic, but before we jump into it, Skill Sparks is this short learning session. The idea is that we will introduce some new features that could help you use your software a little bit better and also make sure that what you are setting up works well for you as well. So we are talking about late cancellations, automatic late cancellations. It's been in a beta test for a week now, maybe 2 weeks now. So some of you might have had the chance to try this out and really go at it and give us some feedback. But the idea of this is that you don't have to manually chase late cancellation fees or charges, and it will hopefully save you time. And also you can create multiple rules. So that means if you have different kind of memberships or packages, you can create different kind of rules applying to them for the late charges, and you can also track this. Now, this feature is available for the Studio Grow and Max plan, so it's a two top tier. However, I brought you some ways that you can actually kind of make it semi-automatic for yourself as well. So, the concept of it still kind of stands if regardless what plan you are on. And if you have any questions, please shout them into the chat. You can also share where you're tuning in from. I'm in New Zealand, so Arvin is in Mexico City. Hope it's okay that I shared that. But basically, we're all over the world and would love to hear where you're coming from as well. Okay, and if you have any questions, please shout as well. But I'll jump back into sharing the product or the screen of our offering tree as well. Hope you can hear me well too. Okay, so your new feature, late cancellations, you can find it under the cancellation tab within your business and analytic or business settings. And it's right underneath when you set up your refund policy as well. We could go through this as well, but I think this has been here for a long while, so you kind of know how to use this. But this is the new part. When you see this, it won't be turned on, so you will have to turn it on for yourself. And then the first thing it will ask you is if you want to have a no-show detection, because many of you might have multiple yoga teachers, Pilates teachers, or other staff members who are responsible of checking in clients as well. So sometimes, if there are multiple blocks that they're teaching, it could be a little bit hectic, especially if they're big studios with multiple clients. Then you can give them a little buffer. So instead of saying, oh, no show from the start of the session or the end of the session, you give them a little buffer to make sure that they can tick off all the people that were there. You can change this to any amount of hours. It could be 24 hours as well, giving them a grace period if you want to. We automatically put on 2 because that usually is a good indicator if someone was no-showed and hopefully correctly marked on the roster as well. I teach at a studio, there's 12 reformers, and sometimes people can come in and we start the class, and halfway through the class or the end of the class, I have to take them to make sure that they were there. So this is kind of a grace for both your clients as well as for your instructors as well. And then we have our penalty rules. So this is what applies when someone was late canceled or no-showed or both. You can decide which one you prefer. And I have already built a few examples here because in this test site, we have a few example packages and memberships as well. Now, these rules apply on packages and memberships only. So if someone registers with a drop-in or no package or membership, it won't apply on them. You can decide if you want to make that happen manually if that's important to you and your business, but this is all just for your packages and memberships. So when you create a rule, you just click on add rule and it comes up with a few questions. The first of it is which memberships and packages are part of it. You can See that automatically it chooses all memberships and packages, but then you can also pick the ones that you want to make specific rules to. So you can keep it all memberships if you want. Then it will ask you if are you looking for late cancellations only or no-shows only or both. Because depending again what you are setting up, what's important for you, you can decide. Then it asks for the fee. So we just put in a random $15. Sounds good, but you can change it. It could be anything that you want it to be. So it could be $20, it could be $50, it could be $100, 1,000, I don't know, whatever you wish. And then you can decide if you want to check frequency. So maybe you are also extending an extra grace period to your clients and say that the first one we don't charge, but maybe from the second on or the third on, we will charge this penalty because things happen, emergencies arise, life is not easy. So we want to be kind to our clients as well, that things like this happen. So if you decide that I want to check or track the frequency, and you can also decide if this frequency is checked through 3 different periods, either the billing cycle. So this is really useful for your memberships. Some people purchase a membership at the beginning of the month, end of the month, maybe somewhere along the month. So this will apply to their own billing time. So maybe for someone on the 1st, someone on the 15th, etc. The calendar month, it's the same for everyone. So obviously, whatever the calendar says, maybe each new month, the penalties kind of wipe clean and they start with the clean slate as well. And you can also decide on a rolling day. So the rolling day is more of like your own terms and conditions. And you could say that maybe every 30 days, every 90 days, maybe every year, you decide that these kind of wipe clean, not really important for you anymore. So you're giving that first violation waived back to them. And again, it's up to you what you decide for this specific rule. You can create multiple rules and they can have different settings within as well. Some might be for rolling days, some might be for billing cycles as well. So I'll show you how I built this up because actually there is a reason for or an importance to how you create these plans or rules. For example, the first one, it's for the 2 class week monthly membership, and it is for late cancellations and no-shows as well. And I only charge after the second violation per billing cycle. So I'm looking at that client having that membership. Within that month, they can basically miss 1 class without being charged extra fees, but after that, they will be charged. Then the next one is the First Steps Dance Studio intro offer. So this is the intro package that I have. And again, I'm checking late cancellations and no shows as well. Now, the difference here is that I only charge after the third violation. So I'm giving them a little bit more of a breathing ground to make some mistakes, and it rolls over after 90 days, which to be honest, thinking about it, it doesn't really make sense because the intro offer is not that long. But I just wanted to show that you can actually change this up really easily. And the amount is only $10. And my reasoning was if this was my studio, I could tell them we have a strict cancellation policy. You're a new member. We don't want to, stress you out of it with this, but after the third session, we will charge it, but you get a discount on that too. So that was kind of my thinking. Then I have a specific rule for a private sessions monthly membership. So this is someone who doesn't come to group classes, but comes to a private session and they have a monthly membership for this. Now you notice that this is a higher penalty fee. And I'm only looking for the no-show. And again, my reasoning was that usually one-on-one clients are pretty good canceling, even if it's a late cancel. But if it's a no-show, then we're going to charge them. So it's a little bit strict or higher price, but it's maybe not as strict on the late cancellation. But I am charging on every violation. Again, this is just an example. It doesn't mean you have to run your business this way, but this was my logic of why I created this different rule. Then I have 2 more rules applied. for all memberships and packages because I have some 5 class packs, some 10 class packs, and you can decide which one is more important by moving them in different directions, or different orders. So I can move this up one step, and if someone has a 5 class pack and booked a class and then they late canceled, then they will be the system will test, okay, this is not a 2 class a week monthly, it's not an intro offer, it's not a private session, so it applies or it is within this membership or package rule. So it will tell me that, okay, they late canceled or no showed, and they will be charged only after the second violation. So, and there's a 90-day rolling window because you can decide what is more important. If someone books and cancels with a 2 class a week, they will um, be checked through this rule, the intro offer this rule, and then the private sessions monthly this rule. However, if I decide to move this all the way to the top, because it says all memberships and packages, the system will not check all of these rules. It will always check the first one and find the first one that applies to that package or membership. So this is why it's important what order you put them in. I would suggest if you have specific rules for specific memberships and packages, keep them at the top. And then if you have kind of a general rule for all packages and memberships, then move them to the bottom, because the system, if the system can find it in these, it will find it in these remaining packages and memberships as well. Okay, you also have the chance to actually look at all of this within your reports. So just under your reports and analytics, you have a cancellation and no-show report. If you are on the higher packages or plans with the Studio Grow and Studio Max, you'll also have the late cancellation charges report. So similar ones, but they're not exactly the same. Obviously, this will show you when active charges are happening, when they are happening, when this occurred, etc. So in this example, okay, so let's see the last 30 days. Okay, so Stevie Nichols, they came to a class. They late canceled. That was the reason for entering into this late cancellation report. The first time they had no charge. Then they had another late cancellation, and this time there was a $15 fee, and it was charged. I remember, I think when I recorded this, there was actually a due date and a waive date. You can decide if you wanted to actively charge this as well. There would be a button here that says charge now, and you can decide to charge them right away. Anytime someone enters into this late cancel period, there is actually a 24-hour period that you can decide to waive the fee. So that means that if they registered this time, but they late canceled, don't know if that says it separately, or that's the visit date. Late canceled, I think that's the late canceled date, isn't it? Anyways, it usually exactly 24 hours after that. So it would say 2nd of April, instead of 2nd April, 3rd of April, it's due at, because they we give them 24 hours. You can decide if you want to waive it. Maybe they got in touch with you. There was a reason you allowed, okay, we're not going to charge this one because something happened and you decided not to charge them. On the other side, if you want to charge them right away, you can always click on the charge fee here. The other report is really similar and it's available for everyone. It obviously lists all the cancellations, late cancellations and no-shows, and you can see when these are happened, what kind of payment, and manually you can decide to charge a fee for them. So this is the same kind of principle. Now, because this is not connected to a rule, you'll have to go through the point of sale. So if I wanted to charge them, you see that it goes through the point of sale, and I can decide what I want to charge them for that late cancellation for that stretch class. And I can change the price here or the amount here, and then charge their card on file as well. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to share, but if there are any questions, please write them into the chat as well. Now, as we mentioned, this automatic late cancellation is a new feature for Studio Grow and Studio Max plan holders. However, you can make it kind of semi-automatic with a automation as well, which I have built here. So this is a late cancellation automation that can be applied in any plan and multiple times per context because maybe one person books in multiple times to a session. So the trigger is that they register to a session. And I added a filter, and this one is actually optional, as you can see it here. If you want to have the same kind of rule where you only give or apply a fee for clients who book with a membership or a package, you can add this step. If it doesn't matter to you, and if you want to also charge those who book in a drop-in session, you might want to remove this step. But I'm just basically checking if this person has an active membership or an active package, meaning that they are hopefully using that to book in their sessions as well. And then if yes, then we go through because they booked with a package and membership. And then if not, it doesn't really matter. But again, you can decide if this is important to you. Then I added a wait condition. So I'm waiting for the end time of this trigger, which is someone booked into a session. So again, similar to what we had in the automatic late cancellation setup, that we have that 2 hour window after the class ends. So hopefully the instructor or the staff member check them in within those 2 hours. Again, this could be changed to any other amount as well. So I'm kind of mimicking the same setup as we have in the automatic late cancellation setup. So if we're waiting for that, so it's going to be a little bit of a bus stop here, then the bus arrives and they get on to the advanced filter. So this one, I'm checking if the person did not show up or late canceled, because obviously that's when the penalty applies. So I did not show, if the person did not show up is true, or they late canceled is true, they're going to go through the true branch. So that means that they did not come to the session. If someone was checked in, they would go through the other side. So they would step here, but because they did not show up or they late canceled, they're going to go through this step as well. So that was, yeah, this one. Then if you still want to give them a grace period and say if they have more than X amount of late cancellations, then you'll charge them a penalty. But if they have less, you might not want to charge them. So in this example, I'm looking for the number of late cancellation and it's greater than or equals to 2. So for example, in one of the rules, we had that we only charge after the second violation. So and what you could also do with this setting is kind of the same rule that applies with the tracking frequency. You're not necessarily tracking the frequency, but you're tracking the frequency in that month. So yeah, the past month they had more than two late cancellations. So obviously they need a fee charged on them. Now, if this is not important to you, you can untick this and it's just overall checks within their lifetime client lifetime with you that they have had 2 or more late cancellations. So it's just optional. This is just giving you that kind of extra buffer if you want to create that rule of the frequency tracker. And then my next step is just sending them an email. We missed you, but because this is your second session or it's more than second late cancellation in the past month, we're going to charge you a cancellation fee. And you can decide when, maybe in the next day, the end of the month, in whenever my admin person's free, or whatever you want to set up. And then I actually send an email. So this is a little bit different. I send an email to the admin person within my studio. So it's not going to go to the client who has late canceled. It's going to go to my admin person. This is obviously a fake email. Don't use this. Use your own admin person's email. And then I just put in a few merge tags that will draw in some data. So the client and their full name and email, late canceled or no showed, and then I have the trigger title, the event that they registered, and the time and the start time. Oh, I put that the start time times twice. I think that's supposed to be a date, so that's a mistake. And I also put a little note that would be sent to my admin person saying this is not their first late cancel, so please charge $15 on the POS point of sale. So this goes to your admin person. So this is why it's semi-automatic because every step here will the system do except the charging. That's what you will have to do manually with either you or your admin person does it as well. And I wanted to show the other branch. The false branch is a when it's not their second late cancellation in the month, but maybe just their first. You can send them an email saying that, oh, this is your first penalty or first violation. It's a really strong word, but because of that, we're waiving the fee. But just a reminder, if this happens again in this month, then we'll charge an extra $15 on you losing your credit, etc., from your package or membership. Okay, so that's kind of how you set this up. Obviously, this might be a little bit too much of an information. Everything is recorded and will go out and be available within your dashboard as well. Just wanted to show you actually under the help here, you can find the skill sparks. Oh, just save it. And so we have the skill sparks. Okay, that looks crazy because this is a test set site, but actually it looks a lot better in real life. But you'll find the skills box with all of the previous recordings as well. And you can always come back to it and go through it just like as we are today. Okay, let me just jump into the chat if there are any questions. Okay.
I had a question, Esther. If
Oh,
you don't
yes.
mind reading that out and then maybe the
So
answer.
the question was that so the 2 hour wait time for late cancel charges them 2 hours after the class, and the 24-hour time period where we can waive it just basically allows us to do an easy refund. Not quite. It's more like the 2 hours is I think that's when the system's waiting to basically put them into that late cancellation window. So that's when the system will, as Arvin said, detect, okay, this person has definitely late canceled. It's not a staff user error or like for someone forgot to check them in, etc. They really late canceled or no showed. And then you have 24 hours from the class start time to cancel or to waive the fee to decide. Maybe, you notice that a couple hours after the session ended, they reached out to you and they said they had a family emergency or something happened, and you decide, okay, I don't want to put extra on them, so you decide to waive their fee. Obviously, it's your decision if you go with that, but that gives you that 24-hour, a little bit of a cushion to be maybe a little bit more graceful or forgiving towards them as well. And the system starts it. So this is why if you have, um, you know, you can even create this automation, even if you have the automatic late cancellations, just to maybe remind yourself or remind your staff members to check in or make sure that there's no one accidentally charged and you don't have to then initiate a refund. But yeah. So yes, it charges them after 24 hours of the start of the class. So if there was a class at 10 a.m. and they missed it or late canceled, and there's no reason for you to waive the fee, then the next day at 10 a.m. they'll be charged. Cool. Okay, if there are any other questions, happy to answer them. But that's kind of our late cancellations. Obviously, play with it. It's still new, so we're open to any feedback, any thoughts. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us and we're happy to help. But hopefully, this will answer some of the questions on how to set this up, how to use it, even if you don't have the specific late cancellation option, how you can make it in your studio as well. Thanks for being here and hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And thanks, Arvin, for being here as well, helping me out. And have a lovely rest of your day. Okay, bye.